On the 28th of August 2014, my brother Mahdi was born. That was the best day of my life. But my brother was born sick. So we had to travel with him from Dar es Salaam to Nairobi, Nairobi to Dar es Salaam, Nairobi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Dar es Salaam, Dar es Salaam to Nairobi, and then he passed away. That was the worst day of my life. 2 weeks after my brother passed away, we received his test results from India, saying that he had a rare disease called Ohtahara syndrome. Ohtahara syndrome is a rare disease that's characterized by epilepsy and seizures caused by underdevelopment of the brain in the first 3 months at birth. The life expectancy for patients with Ohtahara syndrome is 0 to 1 year. And my brother just survived 4 months. Today I would like to talk about rare diseases and how we can all have an impact on the rare disease community. So first, what is a rare disease? The World Health Organization has defined a rare disease as one that affects less than 65 people per 100,000 in a given area, which means that rare diseases are uncommon, unknown. We should also be mindful with this definition given. Some diseases may be common in some areas, but may be considered rare in others. For example, sickle cell disease is a very common disease in Tanzania, but sickle cell disease in the United States and other developed countries is a rare disease. Some examples of rare diseases are Ohtahara syndrome, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, Zollinger-Ellison disease, pachydermia peristosis. So, that results to my next question. What is the challenge with rare diseases? Challenge number 1. We do not have a set infrastructure in countries like Tanzania to test for rare disease patients or rare diseases. As for my story, you knew that we had to travel with my brother from country to country for his treatments. His tests that were taken in India for Ohtahara syndrome were sent to the United States. But we did not receive the test results back until he passed away. It was too late. In a conversation I've had with a professor at the Muhimbili Institute, we've learned that the leading country with the best infrastructure for testing is Germany, followed by the United Kingdom, which is 50 years behind. That leaves Tanzania, which is 100 years behind in testing infrastructure for rare diseases and any other diseases that prevail in the country. Because my brother was sick, I wasn't able to meet him until 1 month into his life when I was in Nairobi. That's the first time I met my brother, which was in the NICU. And I can never forget that day. When I first met him, I straight away held onto his hand and made eye contact with him. The next challenge is there isn't enough information about rare diseases. While my brother was suffering rare diseases, we did not know what a rare disease was, nor were we aware about issues that prevail with rare disease patients. There's also limited awareness about rare diseases within the medical field. About 20% of doctors in the United Kingdom can treat rare disease patients or are aware of rare diseases. And 40% of United States doctors are aware of rare diseases and can treat rare disease patients. This is very few, considering that the United States has over 300 million rare disease patients. If all rare disease patients around the world would come together, we would create the world's 3rd biggest country. Next, the third issue is government budgets are not allocated for rare disease research efficiently. Going to my example, in 2022, the United States spent $6.1 billion for rare disease research. But they spent $876.94 billion for their defense. This stark contrast between rare disease funding and national defense just shows how we as a nation, as a world today, are more focused on building weapons that kill people instead of doing research on diseases that could potentially save lives. It's not only just about the numbers. It's about people. It's about individuals facing rare diseases and their family, and our collective responsibility for them. My final issue is we do not have an environment that is suitable for rare disease patients. If my brother was alive today, I would probably not be standing here like this. I would have a mask on, or I would be taking any precaution to prevent any disease or any germs that I have come in contact with, because he would be immunocompromised. About 60% of rare disease patients in Tanzania today face the same issue. Because of their rare disease, they're not able to go to school, and most of them need homeschooling. So, how can we have an impact on rare diseases, and why is it important for us to learn about rare diseases? Raising awareness about rare diseases would break down our barrier of ignorance, and it would foster an environment of empathy and inclusion. Furthermore, learning more about rare diseases and making sure that we are aware that these diseases exist would help us come up with diagnosis even more quicker. So, how can we raise awareness for rare diseases? Number one, spread the word. In my first rare disease awareness campaign, which I did when I was in 7th grade, I made little badges saying I support Rare Disease Day on Rare Disease Day, and handed it out to people in my school. And a few years later, the same people that I handed those stickers to have posted rare disease information on social media. Having simple conversations over the dinner table with your parents or family, or posting little information about rare diseases on social media could start creating conversations. Next, attend local awareness events. Through these events, we would be able to learn more about the needs that rare disease patients have, and we would also be able to learn more about rare diseases as a whole. It would make us more aware about the environment that we are all living in. Learn and share personal stories. There's a lot of interesting stories of rare diseases and rare disease patients. For example, in Tanzania, one of the most inspiring stories I've heard of is Ali Kimara. Ali Kimara is a rare disease patient who has a rare disease which is unknown until today. Because of his rare disease, he's not able to go to school. And at that time, we did not have homeschooling available to rare disease patients or any student in Tanzania. But in 2020, he was the first registered homeschooling student in Tanzania. Learning his success story about how he's doing so well academically would be more empowering for all of us today. Ali also loves football, but because of his rare disease, he isn't able to play football. But a few years ago, we had his favorite team is Yanga, and the Yanga sports team all visited him at home and had a whole rare disease campaign for a Yanga match. And that was the best day of his life because he actually got to meet his favorite football players and watched a football match in the stadium. So stories like these didn't call for more empowerment and call for us to learn more about rare diseases and how we can have an impact with our little actions. And finally, advocate for inclusivity. We should be calling our schools to have a safer environment where we could meet with rare disease patients and have conversations with them. We need to also promote educating students about rare diseases and educating institutions about rare diseases, because there's a lot of people out there that may have a rare disease, but we are not aware of them. And that awareness is the starting point of how we can make a huge impact. Because I'm standing here as someone who lost his brother, and I would do anything to get time back with him. So if we do these 4 things, there will probably be a mother out there who will be able to see their child walk down the aisle during their graduation. There will be a brother out there who will be able to spend more time with his sibling. And there will be a friend out there who will have more time to play with their friend. It is just these little actions which could start a huge chain reaction. And it is only our responsibility to start this. Because it's not only a societal, imperative, it's a societal necessity. And it is through that, as a unifying force, we would be able to get more rare disease awareness, and rare disease patients would be recognized. And hopefully we could save more lives. Thank you.